What's up, guys? Ben Pollock here. Today, I want to give you guys a few updates on how I've been holding up during quarantine, what my plans are for the rest of the year. And then, more importantly, I want to share with you a new free program. As you know, some areas in the United States, at least, and hopefully the rest of the world, start to open up. More and more people have gym access, and you start getting back in your routine. This program is designed to help you to get back up to speed as quickly as possible. And so I know most of y'all are probably here for that, so I'll start with that. I think when you're coming back from a layoff of any sort, right, whether it's due to injury, whether it's due to lack of motivation or discipline, whether it's due to some global pandemic, hopefully once in a lifetime type deal, you need to approach things very carefully, and you need to listen to your body more than perhaps at any other time during the course of your normal training. The reason for this has to do with what people refer to as muscle memory, right? The fact is your strength will probably come back strength and muscular size will probably come back much quicker than the other aspects that go into successful training, especially successful strength training. Okay, so things like your confidence under the bar. More importantly, maybe your movement patterns, right? The things that allowed you to lift efficiently and safely. Those things are going to tend to deteriorate very quickly. Okay, so when you get under the bar for the first time, you haven't squatted in a month or 6 weeks, and before you were repping out 500, well, 315 might feel very heavy. You don't want to panic about that. That's very normal, and chances are you'll be able to rep 315 no problem. But that's a physical thing, right? The mental thing might be a little bit different. So for those reasons, this program is extremely conservative. And when you take a look at it, you will probably find that you think it's too easy. I would caution you to, at least for the first week, avoid that temptation to overreach and instead go about the program this way. Treat the compound lifts, the squat, bench press, and deadlift, as almost just technique or speed work, okay? Your goal there is to relearn your movement patterns and make sure that you dial them in just as efficiently as they were dialed in before you had to take a break, okay? That's your only focus with these movements. You're not worried about how hard the sets are. You're not worried about how heavy the weight on the bar is. All you're worried about is, am I perfecting my movement patterns? And not until you feel like those movement patterns are perfected do you become more aggressive in your weight jumps. Instead, devote the majority of your effort to the other movements, the more hypertrophy focused movements, so that you can rebuild any lost muscle mass that might have occurred as a result of the break. Okay? By focusing on these hypertrophy movements that you're very unlikely to injure yourself at, really concentrating on the muscle you're working, not just on moving as much weight as possible, you're going to stimulate that hypertrophy, especially if your diet is not to support that, right? Your diet and recovery. Now, the program is 8 weeks long. You do not necessarily need to take 8 weeks to get back up to steam, especially if you were in an area where, maybe you were only out of the gym for a week or two. It might only take you a few days to get back into your normal routine. On the other hand, if it's been 3 months, maybe you had a loved one you had to care for who was sick or at risk or anything else, then you might need that full 8 weeks to get back into it. The point is, the program is designed to be flexible, so you can really begin on any week that you like, and I think it'll work okay as long as you're remembering that number one rule, which is to take your time, give your mind enough space it needs to adjust to getting back into normal training, right? So when I say mind, confidence under the bar, enjoyment of training, remembering your groove, all that sort of thing. That all goes into kind of the mental aspect of training. In week 8, you will be testing using 70% of your pre-layoff 1 rep max. You'll be performing an AMRAP. And when you get into the program, you'll see that I have some guidelines for what you should be shooting for in this week in order to have a pretty good amount of confidence that you have regained all that strength that you might have lost during the break, okay? You don't need to go all out on these. I don't expect you to go all out. I expect you to leave a rep or two in the tank. You're really just trying to judge, okay, am I fully back to peak strength after this layoff? That's one reason we're using such a low percentage of the 1 rep max, is so that, again, we don't get overly aggressive and decide, hey, I'm going to see if I got back up to peak strength by testing my 1 rep maxes. That's not a good idea, right? For obvious reasons. At the same time, you don't want to get injured pushing all out after you haven't maybe pushed all out in quite a little while. So for reasons like that, this is more of kind of a demonstration of strength. This is not a week where you're trying to build strength. You're really just trying to give yourself some sort of landmark, some sort of marker, some sort of indicator, so that you know that you can then push to new levels. So this program is completely free. You can download it using the link in the description below from my site, peakhd.net. You can also, if you are a Myoplasmic member, you will get free access to both part 1 of this program, which is what I just described, and then also part 2, which uses a very similar approach. If you enjoyed part 1, uses a very similar approach and will hopefully take you to new all-time bests, right? Even before beating your pre-layoff numbers. So that's the free program. Again, please do check it out. There's more video instructions in the program itself. One other thing I want to announce is that this week is the anniversary week for MASS, the academic digest journal that my friend Greg Nuckols and some other guys put out, that goes through the scientific literature and kind of breaks it down into terms that are either quicker to get through, easier to understand, whatever the case may be. It's a really, really valuable training resource. As you guys know, I am not one of the guys who puts 100% stock in science. I try to be aware of the academic literature that's out there, and I also try to be aware of the tacit knowledge that's out there, the bro science, right? The things that we know work in the gym from experience, but we can't really explain using research. And I think that two-pronged approach is really helpful. So you're going to get the tacit knowledge just by going to the gym and training yourself, but by getting MASS, you can help yourself to also be abreast of the scientific research and maybe think about incorporating some of those techniques into your own training. Thanks to their anniversary sale, they're having steep discounts. I don't know the exact amount. I think it's about 30% on all memberships. To kind of sweeten that deal, I have a few options that I can help y'all out with. So if you get a lifetime or yearly subscription to MASS, and you use the link in the description below, all right, you got to use the link so that I know that you actually did it, then I will enroll you for free in Unfuck Your Program, which is normally $119. So you'll be saving a little bit extra there. You'll in the instructions below, you'll find out how to redeem that. Okay, you're gonna have to forward me your receipt and blah blah blah. Make sure you have an account on my website and all that, but I will give you free access to Unfuck Your Program. If you just sign up for the monthly subscription, right, you want to try it out, you're not sure whether you want to commit yet, you will get a free copy of part 2 of this free program, the Reload. And like I mentioned again, part 2 builds on part 1 to take you to even new heights. So those are the two options there. Greg is giving also 50% of the proceeds to charity of the sale. Okay, so you buy a membership, say you get a yearly membership, it costs $200. $100 goes to charity. You get a free Unfuck Your Program thing for $100, and you have that yearly subscription to MASS, which also gives you access to all the back issues. So pretty cool deal right there. In terms of my training, I've been holding up, as you guys can probably see. Stacy and I have relocated to Michigan. This was actually something that we had planned before we went through this virus situation. We really love Virginia. We love training in the shop and Unleash Strength, and we're very very grateful to those guys, but we can't really afford it, because if you guys have lived in Northern Virginia, you know it's not quite as expensive as like San Francisco or LA, but it's darn close, and we just couldn't justify that. So my coach is out here, Justin Harris. He's in Michigan, so we're getting some more time to train together. He does have a gym in his basement, and we know some other guys with really, really, really well-equipped basement gyms as well. So my training actually has not missed a beat at all. I've had to cut way back on the machine work, but I do have full access to barbells and dumbbells and all that good stuff. And honestly, that's the type of training I enjoy better anyway, the basement stuff. So I'm not posting any videos or anything right now, just because I know some of you don't have access to that, and I don't want to make you all feel bad or left out or anything. But once quarantine is over, I will be sharing some highlights. I am back in all-time PR territory for all 3 competition lifts, except I'm only doing safety bar squats. My shoulders are still not quite up to par. I'm working with Chris Duffin and some of Chris's guys on regaining some of that mobility, and it's coming along quickly, but not to the point where I feel like I can confidently support 800 pounds on the squat without tearing my shoulders off. So that one's not quite there, but I fully expect by the time I actually start prep for big dogs that I'll be wrapping out fairly easy with, I'm hoping for 405 on bench, 765 on deadlift, and somewhere in the 635 range paused and squats on with sleeves. I just throw on the pause stuff there. Whenever I squat in sleeves, which is always in the off season, I like the pause. It makes me feel a little bit more confident. It makes me know that I'm not cheating myself out of that extra work that maybe is not getting as much when I train in reps. So training's going very well. Also very happy with the physique. Justin told me at the end of the last show he thought I could get up to 240 lean, actually 255 lean, fasted, empty stomach, everything. After a cheat meal, I hit a high of 272, which is 88 pounds over what I was last August. I love the way it looks. It's kind of addicting. Everything else about it sucks. Can't breathe. You can probably tell from my voice I sound a little bit different just because all my nasal passages are congested all the time. It's kind of a beast, hard to tie your own shoes. So, but this is something that, even though I haven't really enjoyed the results as much, it was something I always wanted to challenge myself with and see if I could do. So I'm proud of that as well. Justin and I had planned to do Junior Nationals, which is a bodybuilding show. It's like a national level bodybuilding show, but you can't get a pro card, which is like perfect for me because it's a good level of competition, but at the same time, there's none of that pressure, which I really don't need when I'm also getting back into powerlifting. Unfortunately, that was delayed due to the virus, so we may, if time allows, prep time allows, we may do a local in Michigan sometime this summer. So just to, make sure that I stay abreast of the hypertrophy work as well. I think that's been something that's really been valuable to my training, even though it's not the style that I prefer. A lot of times I think we do stuff that we don't enjoy as much because we want those results, right? And I'm definitely guilty of that myself. So I think that covers it for the updates. Again, I do apologize. It's just very difficult to, walk that line between, okay, we don't have a lot of equipment to show exercises with. A lot of people can't do the exercises to begin with. Motivation is waning for a lot of people. So it's been hard to produce good content lately, and I apologize for that, but I do have some big plans for when things get back to normal. You can see I've reserved this giant swath of wall for my new whiteboard. So we've got some cool lessons planned, and I'm really, really excited about it. So I hope you are too. I hope you enjoy the free program. I hope you check out Mass, and as always, hit me up if you have any questions or concerns or anything like that. Until next time, think strong, train hard, be safe, and have a good one.